Hey YouTube, it's Erin, and I am the Handbag Housewife, and I'm back again with another video. Today's video is going to be the story of the missing Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis. Yeah, you heard that right. UPS lost the bicolor Pochette Metis that I recently sold to one of my lovely subscribers. And I want to share this with you because I want you to not make the same mistakes I did, because I was so stressed out because of those mistakes that it ruined a whole day for me. I had like a migraine. I was having a panic attack. It was a hot mess, and I don't want anybody to go through what I did yesterday. So last week on July 3rd, I sold my Louis Vuitton Pochette Metis. And it is the bicolor one with a nude colored giant monogram print on it. And beautiful bag, just didn't work for me. I mean, it did work for me, but I just don't feel like I used it enough that I would miss it if I let it go. So therefore it went. And I had a discussion with the lovely lady that I sold it to about how to get it there. And we determined we would do 2-day air. And so I shipped it on the 3rd of July, which was a Wednesday, and it was due to arrive on Saturday because of the holiday. And that was perfect because she could be home on Saturday to sign for it. Now, when I shipped the item, I purchased the label directly from UPS, and I purchased full insurance on it. Anytime I ship anything to any of you, I will fully insure it unless I am willing to cover the cost of the amount that I'm shipping. And I'm usually not willing to not insure things unless they're less than $100. So anything over $100, I'm fully insuring. And so I fully insured it. I have learned through past experience that you have to get a signature for the insurance to be valid when you purchase through a platform like Pirate Ship. Pirate Ship uses Shipsurance for their insurance, and many of the other like secondary market shipping platforms use Shipsurance. I don't use Pirate Ship anymore. I use UPS or the post office directly and purchase from their websites the shipping label as well as the insurance. And so that's what I did this time. I purchased the shipping label and the insurance through the UPS website. And I've done this a few times, and the first time was when I shipped my Chanel bag, when I decided to sell that bag. And this time it had been a while, so I completely forgot that you need to get some paperwork signed when you drop the item off. And you also need to take the item directly to a UPS hub or to a UPS driver. You cannot drop it off at the UPS store. And you know what? That's what I did. I dropped it off at the UPS store. For those of you out there who don't know, the UPS store is not UPS. It is not the same company. So whenever I went to ship this, it offered me the option to print the label. I printed it, I dropped it off at the UPS store, and I got my receipt. And so I thought I was good to go. And it went to Kansas City and then Indianapolis, and then it said it went to Louisville, but then it stopped there and it didn't go anywhere else. And it was supposed to arrive on Saturday, and Monday morning it still wasn't tracking, and that was concerning. The lovely lady I sold the bag to called UPS and talked with them, and they told her that she needed to contact the shipper and have the shipper, which would be me, file a claim. And so I went to do that, and because I had purchased the label through my UPS, it didn't let me file a claim because I didn't have an account number. Now, is that not messed up? Like, I clicked on the tracking, clicked on the button that says file a claim, and it wouldn't let me do it. And so I called my local UPS hub. I'm on a first name basis with them there, and they gave me a special phone number to call that would be more helpful than the regular 1-800 UPS number, which, by the way, is almost impossible to find. They don't want you to call them. And so I called that number, and the gentleman I spoke to was so helpful, and he helped me file a claim. So over the course of Monday, I was freaking out because right after I had shipped this package, I had shipped another package. And when I did, it popped up the paperwork to print out telling me exactly how to drop it off, which included dropping it off at the UPS hub or with the driver and getting a signature on it and having a copy for myself and a copy for them. And so I went back and looked at what I had done with the label for the Pochette Metis, and it turned out that this paperwork was there under the receipt. It didn't pop up though, like the paperwork for this other bag that I sold. So now I'm totally freaking out because I dropped the item off in the wrong fashion. I didn't drop it off at the hub. I didn't drop it off with a UPS driver, and the Pochette Metis is now lost. Lost somewhere between Indy and Louisville because the last physical scan of it was in Indy. The way the scans work on these things is that sometimes your box is in a bigger container, like the end of a semi. And in this case, we did air, so it was in a bag. And it got put in a bag in Kansas City. It was physically scanned to Kansas City in that bag, went to Indy, and they physically scanned the box that the Pochette Metis was in Indy. And then it went to Louisville, but it didn't go to Louisville because they scanned the exterior that it was in, and when they opened it, it wasn't there. At least they didn't scan it. And so somewhere along the lines, it got lost. And my UPS person at my hub locally said, "Oh, that's not good." He's like, I don't know. I have a bad feeling about this. And so he was pretty negative about what could have happened. I mean, like, could it have fallen off a truck? Could it have gotten snagged on a conveyor belt? Could the label have gotten ripped off of it? And I had a picture of the package showing how I had fastened the label on. I'm like, I don't think this thing would have come off because it was taped front ways and back ways and sideways and up and down. And I just didn't see how it could possibly get ripped off. And he looked at it and pretty much agreed with me on that part. And so tip number 2, make sure you get your label taped fully over. Tape it really well onto the package because that happens all the time, that labels get torn off. And so I had filed a claim. I had signed up for text messages on this package, and I got a text message saying that an investigation had been opened. Monday went by with a lot of stress because I was worried that since I hadn't dropped it off properly, if they never found the box, that I would be responsible for the whole cost because I would not leave the buyer hanging because I made a mistake. And so Monday was very stressful. Headache, panic attack, just miserable stress. And then guess what? Tuesday morning, I woke up and found out that the package had been found. Hooray! I was so glad that it had been found. Oh my gosh, you cannot imagine how stressful this was. So the Pochette Metis was lost for a couple of days from Saturday the 6th until Tuesday. And it was found, and they never put on the tracking where it was found whenever it was found. They just marked that it would be delivered the next day. And so I called because I wanted to find out where it was. And they told me it was in Grade Lane, Kentucky. And so I looked up Grade Lane, and that's actually the name of the street. It's a hub, an air hub in Louisville, Kentucky. So the package was in Louisville, where they said it was, even though they hadn't scanned it, and they found it. So it arrived the next day, which was Wednesday, 5 days late. But better late than never, right? Especially for a Pochette Metis. And after she received it, my lovely subscriber, and now we're like bosom buddies because we talk on the phone so much about packages being in transit. And she's actually buying my Louis Vuitton Clapton as well. And so hopefully this next experience with UPS will be even better. And yes, I am going to use UPS again because I do like how they do their packaging, because I do like how they protect these packages. I just wasn't familiar enough with the process when I went to ship it. And luckily they found it, which thank the Lord, because that's not always the case. Sometimes these things truly do go missing. The other little thing I learned is that when you open an investigation with UPS, they say it'll take between 1 and 8 days. And that's a reason why I will use them again versus using the post office, because the post office investigations can take much, much, much longer than that. So in the end, everything worked out. She received the beautiful bicolor Pochette Metis. It was in perfect condition. The box was a little bit banged up, but I did wrap it really well with bubble wrap, and so the bag was in pristine condition. And another tip is that if you insure with UPS, they expect you to package the item inside, if it's a high dollar item, with 2 inches of bubble wrap around it. And so you need to take that into consideration, because if your item gets damaged along the way due to a leak or something like that, then they open up the package, and if it's not sealed or packaged correctly, they won't pay out that insurance money. So I learned all kinds of helpful things with this particular snafu, and it all worked out in the end. And I just felt with everything I learned, I wanted to share, so that if any of you out there are shipping high dollar items, that you know what can be a hiccup in your giddy up. Because Monday was a very bad day for me, and it could have been avoided. I mean, I would have still been sad if the bag got lost, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't have been nearly as stressed if I knew I had followed the proper procedures for dropping the box off. And this next item that I sold, which I'm going to get to now, I did it all to a T. So if something were to happen in transit with it, I know that financially I'll be taken care of, and I can use that money to reimburse the buyer in case of any issues. Now you may ask, what else did I sell? Well, I also sold my bicolor favorite from Louis Vuitton, the new model. I sold that bag to a gal, and it was actually the same gal I sold my Chanel Classic Flap. So I've got repeat buyers, which means that they must be happy, and so that makes me happy. So I've told you that I sold my bicolor Pochette Metis to go to see Taylor Swift in October. The money I get from that, as well as the money I get from selling my Louis Vuitton Clapton, both of those are going towards paying for a fabulous experience with family. We're going on a girls' trip to see Taylor Swift. Now, the money that I got from the favorite new model, I was originally going to use it to just kind of pay myself back for some of the souvenirs I bought on my Mediterranean vacation. But I found something special to purchase, and it is another Louis Vuitton bag, and I'm going to share that with you when it gets to me. And I'll explain to you why I feel like it's a special purchase and why it was worth kind of replacing a bag with a bag versus doing something else with those funds. So I'm super excited to share that with you in the next few weeks whenever it arrives. I actually got 2 pieces, a bag and a charm, to go together, and so I cannot be more excited to share those with you. One of the other bags I also talked about selling was my Twist by Louis Vuitton, and this is in a pale gray. This is not cream. A lot of people think this is cream. And when I got this, it arrived with this charm. Now I put this charm onto this chain here. I just opened up the link on the chain and put it around there so I could hook the charm directly to the bag like so. But this little charm was supposed to come with a link that looked just like this with a Louis Vuitton clip, which looked just like this piece right here, so that you could clip the section of chain and have it hanging off the front of the bag. And then I think the charm would be up at the top. And when I got it, I contacted Louis Vuitton to see if I could order just that section of chain with the little clip as a spare part, and they told me it would be $390. And I thought, I don't need that. But you know, to be honest with you, it has always bothered me about this bag that I'm missing that little section of chain. So I went ahead and I ordered it. And I don't know, it'll take a while, but I will also get another little flower so that if I want to swap out the chain for the lighter weight one, and then go ahead and just use this little charm that I've created with the bag versus the brand new one that I'll be getting, then I can do that. I tried to get them to just send me the little link of chain and not charge me $390, maybe charge me $175 or something, but they wouldn't. So I'll have 2 of these little flowers, and that's okay. They're really pretty. And it's ridiculous to pay that much to get one of these, but I want my bag to be complete. And then I think hopefully I'll be happier with this bag if I have the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle. Because to be frank, it bothers me whenever I don't have the whole set on things. For the most part, I don't like to be missing parts on bags. I did sell my bandolier strap that went with my Speedy 20, which is this bag. I sold the thick guitar strap that came with this bag, which looked just like this one. I sold it whenever I got the Damier Ebene version of the Speedy 20 because I felt like I only needed one strap that had this particular pattern on the fabric. And I wanted to keep the one with the dark ebene colored trim that doesn't get water spots because I have the Capucines that has this dark glazing and this Georges BB, which has the dark glazing. And I just have a hair there. I feel like the dark trim on the leather looks so amazing with the dark glazing on these bags. And so I only wanted one that looked like this in terms of the material. So that's really the only case that I have sold a part to one of my bags. And it's a bag that I plan on keeping forever. I mean, never say forever in my closet, but I really like these little Speedy 20s. They're really convenient, smooshy, easy to wear. And with this particular combo, with the monogram and the vachetta, I have a few different straps that have the vachetta trim. I've got the pink, the khaki, and the cream with the vachetta trim. And so I don't want to sell this or my multi-pochette accessoire because they go with so many of my straps. And you know, this girl loves a bit of strap action. So long story short, I've now sold 3 of the 5 bags that I talked about selling for experiences, and 2 of them went to an experience, and 1 of them went to buying a new bag and the charm chain that was supposed to come with this bag originally. So I think that'll do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, what are you waiting for? Do it and ring the notification bell so that you are notified of future exciting content such as this. Also, go find me on Instagram. The name there's the same. It's the @ then the Handbag Housewife, all lowercase. You can DM me there or you can email me at thehandbaghousewife@gmail.com. If I don't hear from you, I will see you again real soon. Take care and have a fabulous day. Bye.